Good morning, everyone. Getting situated. How about that eclipse? How about that Monday? Is it a cosmic joke to put an eclipse on a Monday? Like, Mondays are hard enough, don't you think? Then we gotta add an eclipse. Like, what were you guys thinking? Hello. For those of you who are new here or just don't know who the hell I am, my name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, movement in breath, body, and being, and I am your shenanigan shaman, so please do not expect to take yourself too seriously in here. These are our Bhakti Bites classes. Bhakti in Sanskrit means devotion. Welcome, Lance. Nice to see you. Bhakti means devotion. So devotion to what? Just self-care. Nothing religious. Nothing traditional or modern. Nothing weighted. Just self-care. Because that is the foundational practice for everything else. When we are able to commit to our self-care, we set the stage for building the rest of our life on top of it. And that is a solid foundation. That is a gorgeous stage to play out our life on. But when we do not, when we leave our self-care aside, when we drop our self-care off the to-do list because we get too busy, when we prioritize everything else except the self-care, we are always going to be operating from a place of giving of ourselves, giving of finite energy, of draining ourselves. I used to say to my mother all the time, you can't give your shirt off your back if you're naked already. Because she was the kind of person who emotionally, energetically, would give everything she had even when she had nothing. And she taught me that that was honorable, that that was commendable, that we should be martyrs for others and for whatever cause we believed was important enough. Yet, I watched her suffer severely, emotionally, physically, mentally, and still struggle with taking care of herself. Because she was taught that severity of you give everything you have, even if you have nothing, even if it's the last of what you have. And how many times it broke my heart to watch her sob about how nobody loves her and nobody would ever love her enough. And I remember being in my 20s and turning to my own mother and saying, it's because you have to do it first. And she'd get mad and she'd slam her fist down. No, 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 no. She was so committed to believing that this was the way to be, that this was the right way, that this was the way to be close to God, that this was the way to be the best human that she could possibly be. But in doing so, she completely denied her own humanness and her own need. Taking a moment to send my mother buckets and buckets of love as she is still out there struggling with this. And to all the mothers, fathers, people, big and small, young and old, who have been taught that denying yourself is the most righteous thing you can do, because it's not. God resides within you. If you believe in creationism, then God created you. Would you deny his creation, that creation? Would you look at something that was created by God and say, it is all wrong, it is all terrible, it is meant to just be thrown away to everyone else, thrown to the wolves? No. We hold space for it with reverence. We see a child and we go, how magnificent. Of course it needs to be taken care of. Of course it needs to be sheltered. Of course it deserves to be loved. Look at it. It exists. Of course it deserves to be loved. Of course it is perfect as it is. But we forget this as we get older and our children get a little bit more mouthy and chaotic and annoying, and so do we. And then we get caught in this finite reality matrix mentality of this push and pull of finite energy. And through my years of study and practice as a reverend and on my spiritual path, that I have found to be the crux of so much. It's the crux of the problem in the world. Is that push and pull for finite energy. The disconnection from our true nature, which is divinity. So, good morning, grand rising. Hello, everyone. Happy solar eclipse. Today, we are practicing a new mudra, as we do every week. This week is the Gada Mudra, G-A-D-A mudra. Gada in Sanskrit means mace or club. And this is the mudra for stability. This whole week, our theme is stability and grounding. The solar eclipse brings a great deal of chaotic energy. I know everybody wants to go outside and look at it, but if you can, I highly suggest staying in and using the time for self-care. Using the time to clear away anything stuck, anything rigid, anything still lingering, any shadow bits that are ready to be released and cleared away, right? It's springtime. The universe is doing spring cleaning. The eclipse is the divine union of the masculine and the feminine. And when I was a kid, when the masculine and feminine had a divine union, you left them the hell alone. So I'm going to stay inside and offer myself some sweet, soothing care. Offer love to myself to reflect this divine union happening in the sky. So, during this time, however, it is still, like I said, very chaotic energy. So, if you would like a grounding practice, I invite you to grab this mudra. So the mudra, again, is called the Gada Mudra, and there's two ways to do it. I'm going to show you both ways, and you choose what works best for you. Okay, so it is a little bit complicated, so take your time. Which way are we going to go first? Let's do this way first, okay? Cross your thumbs, palms facing out, and create 2 interlocking circles. 1, 2. Let's do it again. Cross your thumbs and bring your pointer finger to touch the tip of your thumb on both hands, creating interlocking circles. Bring your middle fingers to touch and then fold over like you're folding your hands. Fold your last 2 fingers into the palms. Got that? Middle fingers upright. First 2 fingers in interlocking circles. Last 2 tucked into the palms as the palms close. This is one way to do the Gada Mudra. If this works for you, keep it. If you would like the other way, we're going to go the reverse. So to do the reverse way, we want to cross our pinky fingers and curl them over each other. Hug your pinky fingers together. Hug your ring fingers together. Okay? Curl those into your palms. Yes, let them release a little bit as they curl into your palms. Close your palms, leaving your middle fingers upright and touching. And then bring your pointer and your thumbs together to create those interlocking circles. So that was 2 ways to get into the Gada Mudra. We're going to go through those one more time because this is a little bit of a complicated mudra. Remember, mudras work by redirecting the energy channels in the body. So if you can't get into the position of a mudra, do your best to get as close as possible. Just like an energy circuit, just like a light switch, right? You just need a barely of a touch and that energy starts flowing. So if you can't exactly get this, get as close as you can. This is quite an extension of the middle finger. So again, do your best. If it looks open, if it looks much more open and it's like this more, that's okay. It's close, right? Hey, it's okay. It's okay. It's just the neighbor. Come on. It's okay. Come here, Ajna. What? Nobody. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Otherwise, he's going to keep barking. Nope. They just went by. They just went by. Come on. Come sit down. Nobody stopped. Good guard dog. He's a good guy. All right. So we're going to do the Gada Mudra 2 more times. We're going to do both ways. One more time. Okay? So... all right, so we start, one way is to start with your palms facing out, cross your thumbs, and then bring your pointer finger to touch the tip of your thumb, making 2 interlocking circles. Bring your tips of your middle fingers to touch. Keep your middle fingers extended, touch them, and then interlace, fold in your ring and your pinkies into your palms. Okay, interlocking circles on this side. Pointer, why can't I remember? Middle fingers upright. Last 2 tucked in. That's one way to get the Gada Mudra. The Gada Mudra is the mudra for stability. The other way to go reverse, we interlock, hug our pinkies together, hug our ring fingers together. Close them into your palms. Yes, let them loosen up a little bit as you close them into your palms. Bring your middle fingers to touch. Now with your pointer and your thumb, create interlocking circles. I like this one better because it helps me get a little bit of a tighter mudra. This way works a little bit better for me. So the position for holding this mudra is it's intended to be held in front of your pelvis. Not directly, it doesn't have to be directly in front of your pubic bone, but it does have to be in your pelvic area. And this is, again, where we modify. Ideally, this mudra is held at the pelvic area, slightly facing up, forward and up. That is really difficult for me with my shoulders and I can feel it in my elbows. It's not quite working. So it's a little bit harder to do. So you can do it close in this way, or it helps a little bit to pull it out. If that's the case, widen your elbows. Find what works for you to get this mudra as close as possible as it is intended. Now, on Monday, we only hold our mudra for 5 minutes. So we will sit with a brief meditation. The only intention here is to experience the mudra. So this mudra improves stability, grounding, it improves elimination, tones all the organs in the pelvis. Just like last week's mudra, we're working on the pelvic floor, we're working on the pelvic area. This one also helps with any complaints in the pelvic area, from hemorrhoids to cysts to UTIs to menstrual cramps. It also clears out things like SA trauma. It also helps to clear the root chakra. I was talking a lot this weekend about the root chakra. The conversation came up a lot. So I really wanted to provide this week so that we can clear and ground, right? We're going into spring. This is the time to put those seeds in the earth, to toil the earth, to connect to the earth, to allow the earth to awaken your energy body, your spirit body, your emotional body, right? Your physical body as well. So tone and balance the Muladhara chakra, the root chakra. Open the flow of energy through the central channel, pulling the divinity, pulling astral divinity down into the earth and exchanging. What is the soul, what is the sun and the moon doing right now? They are going into divine union. So we are going to sit with this mudra that is intended to bring that divine union in to us, but also with an energy of grounding that divine union. What are we but the divine union between the earth and the cosmos? Both energy comes into us, manifests into physical reality. The divine masculine and divine feminine find union within us and then manifest creation into creation. So we're going to sit for just a 5-minute meditation with this mudra, okay? Hold your mudra down by your pelvic area. I have a puppy in my pelvis, so I'm going to rest the mudra right on top of him, and we will sit for a 5-minute meditation. If you have just 5 minutes to sit with us, please join us. If you can't close your eyes, that's okay. You can still sit and listen and catch this vibe. If you can't quite get the mudra, do as close as you can. If you can't get the mudra at all, or the mudra becomes too intense, please just release the mudra and place your hands palms down in your lap. Palms down is for grounding. So we're going to continue that grounding by placing your hands palms down if you decide that you need to take a break from the meditation. If you sit here and say, I can't meditate, fuck it, I'm going to go away. No, please stay, because you can meditate. Meditation is not about perfection. Meditation is not about reaching a specific goal. Meditation is not about seeing cool psychedelic colors or hearing a ringing in my ears or any of that other stuff. All of that is extra. All of that is sprinkles and icing on the cake, right? Meditation itself is a practice of showing up, is a practice of bringing your awareness, bringing your attention back again and again and again to the process. So in meditation, we do 2 things. Monday is our simple meditation. We sit with the mudra. So my intention is to experience this mudra. Nothing else. Just to experience this mudra. And I bring my attention back to that intention again and again and again. And anytime I notice tension in my mind, in my body, in my breath, I release the tension and replace it with intention. We do not hold our mudra with tension. We hold the mudra with intention. We do not sit upright with tension. We sit upright with intention. In fact, when you sit upright, it is important to release tension in meditation. Okay, you guys ready? Let's settle in. It's only going to be 5 minutes unless I get an extra minute or 2 in. I'll try to keep an eye on the clock. So we begin every practice with 3 deep breaths to fully anchor ourselves into the present moment. If you are ready, go ahead and close your eyes, and we will begin with those 3 deep breaths. Pull the breath, inhale first, pulling the breath in through the nose, all the way through the lungs, and all the way into the belly. And sigh it out, letting go of any tension on that exhale. Inhale again, allowing the breath to lift the heart and elongate the spine. And sigh it out. Inhale once more, expanding the rib cage in all directions, front, sides, and back. Hold at the top. Take a little more breath in, a little more, and release all that tension. Seal the lips and allow the breath to settle into a comfortable, steady rhythm. Inhaling and exhaling. So the only things you are doing right now is holding your mudra and breathing. If anything else comes up, a thought, a worry, a fear, a doubt, some chiding self-talk, I invite you to let it rise and fall the same way the heart rises and falls on the breath. Allow it to find a rhythm with your inhale and exhale. When you inhale, you do not hold the inhale and ask it questions and wonder why you inhaled and whether or not it was a good enough inhale, and did you inhale right? Are you going to inhale again? And what about the exhale? We don't do these things to the inhale and the exhale. We let them exchange, naturally flow in and out. Thoughts, sensations, worries, emotions, all of these things are just as temporal as the breath. Allow them to ride the rhythm without attachment, without judgment. Please meet yourself with loving kindness in this space. It is okay if your mind is busy and you spend the entire time leading it back to your intention. Remember, your intention is just to experience this mudra. And you may notice any manner of sensations, thoughts, colors, sounds, all sorts of things may happen with this mudra. Just as we do not attach to the fears and worries, we also do not attach to the cool stuff that happens during meditation either. It is a practice of letting everything and anything rise and fall naturally within you. Stay with the breath. Stay with your intention. Bring your attention back anytime it wanders off. Like a toddler or a puppy, we take its hand, lovingly scoop it up, and talk sweetly to it as we bring it back to the activity. Keep breathing. Check in with your mudra real quick. Make sure that you haven't collapsed in on your mudra. Make sure that those fingers are pointing slightly upward. And then return to the breath. Stay with the breath. On your next inhale, go ahead and take a big deep breath in, expanding the ribcage in all directions, really filling the lungs, pulling the breath all the way into the belly. Take a as big a breath as you could possibly take and hold at the top. Take in a little more, a little more, a little more, and release. Go ahead and release the mudra and place your palms facing down on your thighs or on your knees. Use this moment, release the breath, release your focus, and use this moment to rest, just to rest, just to bear witness to whatever is occurring within you. Do you notice any shifts? Do you notice anything interesting or different happening? Or maybe you don't notice anything at all. but shine your light of awareness over your body like a gentle spotlight. A soft glow falling over your entire being, witnessing, bearing witness to whatever it is that is occurring in this present moment without any need to change or control or explain. Just a loving, hello me, hey you. You may stay here as long as you would like. You can grab the mudra and continue with the meditation. When you feel complete, I invite you to bring your hands together into prayer or simply lay one over the other over your heart in gratitude for today's practice. In gratitude for these magnificent meat bags that we reside in, that house our divinity through this lifetime. In gratitude for these powerful tools that allow us to connect with, to align with our bodies, our divinity, the entire universe. And offer yourself some appreciation, some gratitude for taking the time for self-care today. I'm so proud of you. You are so fucking worth it, and I'm really glad that you showed up for yourself today. Thank you so much for joining me. When you are ready to come out of meditation, even a short meditation, please do so slowly, only opening your eyes when you're really sure you want to come back to this side of reality. Good morning, Anthony. Something left to your brain with that last desperate inhale. You drowned once. Well, I guess I technically drowned the first time because I was completely out and washed up on the beach. Second time, I surrendered to drowning. I understand. These things, though, are just memories, right? Obviously, we're not drowning right now. But when I get in the shower and the shower like splatters on my face, sometimes I experience that sensation of because the body remembers. Why does the body remember? The body remembers so that it can keep us safe. The body's keeping score so that it can protect us. Memory does serve. I always thought it was quite hilarious, right? They say, forgive and forget. Forgive and forget. You're supposed to forgive and forget. But then I also learned, don't forget, or history's bound to repeat itself. Wait a minute. You're very welcome, Jessica. Welcome, Adam. Welcome, guys. It serves to protect us. It keeps score to protect us. We often look at these things. Sorry, friend, I don't go live with people I don't know, but feel free to send me a message about going live another time. I'm happy to take requests to go live together, but I do not take random requests in the middle of a live. Everything. We often look at the body or the mind and we say, God, my body's against me. My mind is attacking me. My emotions are controlling and all these other things, right? Why do I do that thing? Because while your body and mind and energy body, all these things were developing, while you were meeting the world, your body and mind were doing everything it could to protect you. Indiscriminately. Right? Your body doesn't know the best ways to protect you, like the healthiest ways to protect you. it does what an animal would do and finds the most immediate way to protect you. That most immediate way to protect you when you're a 3-year-old may not be the thing that actually protects you when you're 33. We cannot blame ourselves for the way that our body and mind developed. And honestly, we can't really blame the people around us. Yes. Can we look honestly at what happened and choose who to keep in our lives based on what happened? Absolutely. But blame and pointing fingers really only just gets you convoluted with the how and the why and the whatnot. Those are nice stories. But every story we create builds an attachment. Hey, friend. We are all storytellers. Day in and day out, we tell ourselves stories about reality, about ourselves, about other people. And we miss reality. We miss the truth all around us. But you can get it back. You can still find it. Because it's right here. It's literally all right here. Right here, right now, and now, and now, and now. I am no longer in the ocean falling off my surfboard. I am not yet in a terrible situation I don't want to happen. I don't want to worry about happening, right? I am no longer an infant being left alone in the dark to be hurt by strangers, by people I trusted. I am no longer stuck behind the wheel of the car that's flipped over, right? And yet these things leave imprints, leave behind stories. Do you know how long it took me to get back behind the wheel of a car after that happened? Because I was afraid of driving? No. Because my body felt like it needed to keep me safe. Ah, citrine. These stories have the illusion of being who we are. Our brain is self-confirming and looks for ways to prove itself right. The body does not operate from a sense of higher knowing. It just does what it thinks it needs to do, what it feels it needs to do in the moment. But this is like the vehicle, and this is like the steering wheel. You don't let the vehicle, the steering wheel, drive the car, do you? Okay. This analogy is not going to work for very long because now we're getting like self-driving cars, so now I'm going to have to come up with some other fucking way to talk about it. But ultimately, you don't let the gas pedal drive the car. You don't let the steering wheel drive the car. You sure as shit don't let the rear view mirror navigate. But we do. Thank you, sister. Love you. We are so used to doing that we don't see any other way to do it. And we're very attached to our stories and our beliefs and our perceptions of reality. Extremely attached. But from personal experience, I can tell you one of the most freeing things that you can do is take off your lenses, is put down judgment and bias. I have traveled the world. I've been to many other countries. And some of my most amazing, I want to say eye-opening, but it's not, soul-expanding experiences happened because I showed up person to person, human to human, not person, not peopling, human to human, and connected heart to heart, with laughter, over music, with a wink. I felt the transcendent language of connection. Because when you don't speak the same words, we suddenly go, oh, I can't communicate. Oh. Because we believe that this is the end-all be-all of our communication. Because we don't realize or aren't paying attention to all of the other stuff that's happening. And if you've ever had the experience of sitting beside someone who you cannot communicate verbally with, but you share a laugh, or you can still feel their heart, this is what it feels like to be human. This is what it feels like to be collective. This is what it feels like to understand divine union. And there is transcending frequencies. This has always been a thing that perplexes me. Why is it, are we in a universe that appears to be driving in a particular direction? Right? You said we aren't driving backwards, right? Of course you wouldn't let the rearview mirror drive. Thank you for the gifts, friend. We wouldn't let the rearview mirror drive because we're not going backwards. If I break a wine glass, that wine glass does not unbreak itself. I can fix it, but it does not unbreak itself. I am born, I do not go back to being born. There is a kind of movement, a kind of flow occurring in our finite reality. Time and space, we know, are relative. We know they're relative to light. Or know they're relative to perspective. Right? I can only perceive something as moving in relationship to something else. If someone was running through space, but there was nothing to compare them to, they would just be running in place. Find that flow. That is the current. That is the current. When people talk about getting in flow or experiencing divinity working through their lives or experiencing abundance, right? These things occur when we are able to align ourselves with that flow. All that we can ever experience is the now. So how am I supposed to know what's going to happen tomorrow? How am I supposed to know what's going to happen in 30 years? I love this idea that we feel like we should plan our lives for the rest of our lives and make all of these very, compartmentalized to-do lists, and this is how it's going to go, and I'm going to plan everything, and it's going to be great. This is my life plan, right? And this is how it's going to go. How do you make God laugh? How do you make the universe chuckle? Tell it you have a plan. Tell it your plan. Hey, friend. It's audacious to me. It's a little bit audacious. I've always kind of felt that way, and maybe it's the reason why I've not really been able to fit into this world, is I recognize that God and divinity, the universe, is exponentially more creative than I am. The universe knows far more about the larger cycles of reality and creation and time and experience than I do. I am a speck of sand on the beach. I am half a drop of water in the ocean. I will never know the ocean. And it seems silly to me to turn upstream and go, this is the way I'm going. I will defy the entire ocean and I will swim in the direction that I want to swim. And then we wonder why we experience resistance in life. You do create ripples when you move, yes. And I think that it is absolutely important for us to create ripples, and for us to move, and for us to dance, and for us to play. But I think we get a little bit of a big head with this idea that we can or should control the greater cycles of the universe. Or that we are not part of them, or that we are not affected by them. One of my favorite stories, written by Richard Bach. You guys will hear me talk about Richard Bach a million times over, because if you've never read his stuff, please go read his stuff. He is very good at putting very profound concepts into very simple stories, fun, playful stories that you read over and over and get more insights each time. And you're like, oh, I see he did that. I see how he did that. Oh. If you want to listen to some of his books, I did read a couple of them over on YouTube. My replays are on YouTube at Move a Change. Please go follow me at Move a Change on YouTube. I'm at Move a Change on all of the channels, pretty much, including Patreon. But he tells this story of these creatures on the bottom of a river. On the bottom of the river are all these little creatures that cling to the rocks, cling to the plants, cling to the bottom of the river as the river flows over top of them, right? And all they know is this clinging. That's how they survive. They hold on for dear life, their entire lives. They hold on to the rocks, they hold on to the reeds, they hold on to each other. And occasionally, one slips and gets dashed among the rocks and taken downriver, out of sight. And once in a blue moon, there's one that says, I cannot cling anymore. My arms are tired. And the river seems to be going somewhere. Why do we cling here when the river is pulling us, literally pulling us elsewhere? Why do we not trust the flow of the river? And the others will scream, don't let go, don't do it. You know what happens. We see them let go and get tossed among the rocks and disappear. Why would you do that? You'll die. And that one will say, and clinging, I will die as well. I must know where that flow goes. And despite all the protests from the ones that love that one and will miss that one finally lets go. And what happens? They're rolled among the rocks. Bam, 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 bam. Right? As the river pulls them down, out of sight. But what happens as soon as they're out of sight, as soon as the river current gets a hold of them, but they are lifted up and begin to float between the reeds and above the rocks, freely floating down the river, without clinging, without tension, without holding, without fear, without pain anymore. And when that one floats above the rest downriver, the rest downriver look up and they say, God, Messiah, chosen one, how did you do this? You're magnificent and free. And that one says, I am literally just like you. The only difference is I let go. The only difference is I could not cling anymore, and I trusted the river. Did I get hurt at first? Yeah, it wasn't easy. Especially with everybody around me telling me not to let go, not to trust the flow. And they say, we could never let go. You are so wise, so brave. And when that one passes by, they will tell stories about the Messiah for generations to come. All of them talking about how different the Messiah was from them. All the while missing the point. We are so attached to our stories, to our beliefs, to our expectations, to our fears. It gets scary, it's dangerous to look outside the walls of the confinement that we've created for ourselves. You've created your own little heaven or hell to varying degrees, right? I know the corners of my reality where I keep my hell. I know where that is. You know where yours is too. I know the corners where I keep my joy. I know the corners where I keep my fear. I know the corners where I reserve for certain people only. But outside of that reality, there is so much more. And sometimes I feel like a little kid, climbing up the wall to peek my eyes overhead and say, am I going to go out in the wild today? Should we go out on an adventure today? Don't drink coffee. That is not dog friendly. He just tried to drink my coffee. So today, when the sun and the moon move into their divine union, and really, we should all give them some peace and quiet to have their divine union, right? Thank you, friend. Puppy. He's gone places, you gotta watch. So today, while the sun and the moon are in their divine union, I invite you to suspend your judgments, your expectations, your fears, and your worries. I invite you to suspend them today, just for a little bit. Maybe even just for like 30 minutes, the peak of the eclipse, or an hour or something. See if you can find a way to peek over the wall, to bore a hole in your fence. One of my favorite practices, I'm going to share this with you guys because there is still time before the eclipse for you to go out and find one. I collect these while I am out and about. These are little knots, right? These are pieces of the tree that grew around a knot. Be careful with these because they can show you the true magic of reality, the true nature beyond your perception. If you have the time to go wander out in the woods today and can find yourself one of these, do not use it to look at the eclipse. Do not, please. But during the eclipse, do use it as a kind of window into the true nature of reality. A hole in your fence. Your own little Eden, right, that you've created. What do you see? 10 minutes until it starts. Thank you, Pika. This right here This is the reality I have created. Every shade of color, every expectation, every worry, every twinge of guilt and anger, all of those to some degree are my creation in this finite reality. If you can't find one of these, I invite you to use some other tool. It's really cool if you can find one of these, because then you can use it as the tool. It's a lot more helpful than doing this. But you can still do this. Or find yourself a magnifying glass, or find yourself a what are they called? What are they called? My brain's like, it's a pirate seer, it's a treasure looker, it's a land finder. No, those are not the names for that thing. Whatever you can find. I invite you to suspend your expectations. It's a fey wand, a telescope. There you go. And yes, you can see fey through this. Elven and trolls, spirits and entities. Yes, you can use it for that. But only if you suspend your judgment that such things do not exist. Argue for your limitations, and indeed they are yours. If abundance does not exist in your world, then abundance will not exist in your world. In my life, one of the most important things that I have ever done is to suspend my judgment, is to suspend my expectations. Because if you do not have expectations for something, then everything is a surprise. Anthony, you said you do see fae, but fae do not exist in some places. I have always been able to find the fae. Pika is totally a fae. Are you still in here, Pika? I've got Anthony talking about you over here. I am a fae. When I was little, they used to come to me. Honestly, I don't know if I would have survived without them. Because they showed me when everyone and everything else was telling me to close my eyes and to close my heart and to fall in line and to be who they said I should be. And the fae always said, but you are magic. And not just me, but you too. You are the manifestation of the magic of creation. You are the divine union of the masculine and feminine expressing itself into finite reality, into experience, into a temporal aspect of one tiny facet of reality. Today is a magical day. We get to watch. We get to see Mother and Father in a deeply loving embrace. I hope you use the time to embrace yourself, to embrace your truth, to embrace some magic, to embrace possibility, to embrace your potential and the potential of the universe. To release the incessant clinging that keeps us stuck on the bottom of the fucking river. Just for today. You can go back to clinging tomorrow. You can go back to expecting tomorrow. You can go back to judging tomorrow. You can go back to all of it tomorrow. You can even go back to it this evening if you really, really, really need to. If you really want to go back to feeling the weight of expectation, the weight of attachment. It's always there for you. All you have to do is close your fists. All you have to do is pull your energy in. Katie, thank you. Welcome. What is there to lose? Tension? You might lose an opportunity to yell at somebody. Might lose an opportunity to feel bad about yourself. You might lose an opportunity to judge yourself and bitch at yourself. I know that voice in my head takes every opportunity it can to tell me how wrong and stupid and shitty I am. So, why not suspend it? Just for a little bit. If you have the space, go take a bath. Go read yourself a book. Go lay in the sunshine. While it's out there. Not during the eclipse. Take a moment to honor the divine union that made the creation of you, the miracle of you, possible. I'm not a miracle. Yes, you are. Yes, you fucking are. Did you hear me? You are a miracle. You have a spark of divinity flowing through you. You are a manifestation of the union of the divine feminine and masculine. I don't want to fucking hear you say that you're not a miracle. Are you kidding me? There has never been and never will be an exact creation like you. Ever. In the entirety of all of the universe. We are like this big on the map of what we know, which is not even all of the universe. And you're going to tell me that you ain't special. I love you. That's adorable. You are magnificent. You are a child of creation, of the universe. Revel in that today. I invite you to revel in that today. While we sit beneath the powerful union of the masculine and feminine. Of course, I have to verify, yes, we're still alive, we're still here. TikTok keeps telling me there's inactivity. What am I supposed to be doing, jumping up and down? So, for those of you who are new here or just joining, hello. My name is Reverend Deborah. I am a movement facilitator, movement in breath, body, and being. And I am your shenanigan shaman. Because the closer to home that I have come, the closer to God and divinity that I have come, the more play and laughter exists in my world. I swear it is laughter that lifts us up to God. Sorry, my pirate brain is doing funny things again. It's like, laughter gives you wings. And somebody else was like, that's the Red Bull commercial. Yeah, well, Red Bull stole it. Maybe I just need to do episodes on the pirates up in this brain so that I can share with you guys these characters, because they're fucking hilarious. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's this idea called internal family systems. It's a psychology theory, and it's something that I adopted years and years and years ago. Bless up, yes. Where I realized that we kind of have this idea of the angel and the devil, right, on your shoulders. We have this idea of like your good and bad selves, sure. But we also show up differently in different situations, right? I go to dinner with my parents differently than I go to dinner with my friends. I show up at school differently than I show up at, my lover's house or something like that, right? We have all of these different ways that we show up for the world, and you can represent these as different character selves. I have my tough guy. I've got my damsel in distress. I've got my saucy gal. I've got, there are so many characters. I've got the little kid me too. All of these characters are there. And I'm a storyteller, so this really hit home. I started telling stories. I started writing stories about these different parts of myself. And through those stories, I began to manifest a whole pirate ship, thank you, friend, of characters. Now, for me, it's a pirate ship. I've done this work with other people, and I had somebody else say to me that he has an alien spaceship, and all of his crewmates are aliens. Somebody else lives in a cave on a mountaintop, and they have all of these other creatures that help them. Let it manifest whatever way it manifests for you. You are your guru. You know the truth within you. But it's extremely powerful, because what it does is allows you to see the temporal nature of these different aspects of self. I am not just the me that shows up to dinner with my parents. In fact, that is only, one aspect of me, one fraction of the whole that is me. And when we find ourselves with parts of ourselves that sometimes take the wheel and drive us into shitty situations, it's really helpful to have a dialogue with that part of self. I will say, the trouble is, once you start exploring these selves, once you start meeting these characters, then you start to recognize them when they pop up. I have my quintessential Virgo in there who parrots back all of the bullshit my mother and my father said. Just put me in line and tell me how I was wrong, right? All of these things. But I recognize that she is parroting things that we heard before. And she's doing it with love. She's doing it because she wants us to be safe. She wants us to be successful, right? She has our good intentions at heart. Your body and your mind always have your good intentions at heart. Always. That knee-jerk response to yell when someone offends you is your body and mind believing that that's the way to defend you. Just practicing the tool that it gained to defend you. And if you needed to defend yourself when you were just a toddler, you had no other tools. And unless we address that part of self and we say, hey friend, so we're in our 40s now. When someone offends us and we just start screaming like it throwing a tantrum, it's really embarrassing to the rest of everybody in here, okay? Can we find another way to deal with that? And you can set yourself on the path to truly meeting yourself, truly making friends with yourself, instead of creating arguments or battles or enemy of yourself. My mother used to say it to me. She goes, if you create an enemy of yourself, that is a battle you will fight every single day. A war that will rage on for your entire life. She says, is that who you want to be? Is that how you want to be? Is that how you want your life to be? And that became a pillar for the way that I build my temple, for the way that I care for my temple. I meet especially the parts of myself that I don't like, especially the parts of myself that I judge or I don't think are appropriate or I think are immature or whatever it is. Those are the ones that especially need my love and my attention. Just like the kids in school that are struggling the hardest are the ones who need the most support. So make friends with yourself today. Spend some time with yourself today. Meet yourself today with loving compassion. Honor the divinity within you. Honor the miraculous you that the universe decided was important enough to send through the... Sorry, my brain is like, send through the assembly line. Make another one of those. We need a Reverend Deborah in our lives. We need a Gina Queen Bee. We need an Anthony, right? We need this one. We're going to bring everything in the universe together to manifest. Hi, dog. That dog. We needed that dog, huh? You are a fucking miracle. Don't let anybody, even yourself, tell yourself otherwise. So. Open your eyes to the magic of creation. Open your eyes to the magic that exists all around you. For just a little bit, suspend your judgment. Suspend your expectation. And see what happens. See what happens. If it's terrible, don't do it again. But you may discover something in there that begs you to come back. Hi. Thank you. Are you sad because the puppy's in my lap? And you would like to be in my lap? You would. All right. Before this eclipse darkens my sky, I'm going to take these dogs out to go play. We're going to dance in the sunshine, stomp our feet on the ground, and go looking for Faye. I love you so much. And if you don't know how to say it to yourself, let me tell you, let me say it to you. You are magnificent. You are miraculous. You are so fucking amazing, and I'm so excited that you're here. If the universe didn't need you, you wouldn't be here. If you would like to connect more, if you would like to work directly with me, you can do so through patreon.com. I'm on patreon.com/@movewithchange. I'm at Move With Change on pretty much all the platforms. Feel free to send me a message if you have any questions about working directly with me or joining our Sangha. A Sangha is a mindfulness community, a community practicing mindfulness together. In the Sangha, I offer a great deal more. These are my free live classes. I go live Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday for Bhakti Bites, where we practice a mindfulness technique and meditation with a brief meditation. And then on Fridays, I go live for Tiny Yoga, a chair yoga, 30-minute gentle flow for everybody and every space. But that's just the free stuff. And that's just a little bit of stuff. Not even the free stuff. That's not even just the free stuff. That's just the public stuff. I like to give away stuff for free, and everybody, all the business coaches say, stop it! Yeah, but it doesn't cost me really anything to share these things with you guys. So if you'd like to come join us in our Discord, that is where we host the community. It's where I offer a great deal more resources and fun stuff over there as well. If you would like to join the Sangha and dive more deeply into your mindfulness work, into your coming home to self work, into your enlightenment work, right? Then you can snag a membership level, and there are a variety of tiers. I broke up the memberships so that you can get exactly what you want for the price that's available, right? I created a nice long tier, or multiple tiers. So you're not stuck at some level with getting a bunch of stuff that you don't want. All of that is outlined on my Patreon page, patreon.com/MoveWithChange. If you appreciate these live classes, please consider dropping some gratitude in the tip jar. There's a tip jar on my Patreon page. The link for the Patreon page is on my profile on most of the platforms. I also have a Cash App you can drop stuff in as well. That link is in TikTok. I think it's just Rev, R-E-V, and then MWC, Move with Change. R-E-V, Rev, MWC. I am offering a tip jar if people would like to put gratitude in the tip jar, because I offer free classes and offer free tools and techniques and teach for free. And then I do also have various levels of membership depending on what level you would like to get into, because this is really powerful stuff. This is really amazing work to be doing. And if we are doing this work together, then it's important that we support each other through that work. Do I set a massive price tag on my gate and say, you can't come in unless you're a part of this exclusive club that has a fat wallet? Absolutely not. I make sure that there are multiple options so that you can choose what fits for you. And if you ever want to get into something that you just can't afford right now, please reach out to me. Money is not the all-powerful thing that people tell us it is. It is your time and attention. It is your energy that is far more valuable. So, I am always open to energy exchanges. In fact, I am eager for energy exchanges. But do I have to pay the internet bill so I can keep teaching classes? Yes, I do. It is not honoring of the self to dishonor your own need to be cared for. As I started this whole session with, my mother spent her entire life giving of herself, becoming a martyr, and then being angry that nobody took care of her the way that she needed to take care of herself. And it's a grave misconception, misdirection, manipulation tactic to tell people that they should not charge for the services that they offer. It is up to you how you value your services. And we absolutely need to normalize paying people for their services, whether it be in cash, whether it be in energy, doesn't matter. As long as there's an exchange, that is what gratitude is. The words thank you are just words, just like sorry and a variety of other words. They're just words until you put action behind them. Do not be fooled by other people's words when their actions do not match. And if someone tells you not to seek exchange for the energy that you put out, do not engage with them any further. Because they are seeking to take something from you. They are seeking to manipulate you. They are seeking an exchange on a finite energy level so that they can gain at your loss. And that's not energy. Those are energy vampires. Those are not people you want to spend your time with, not people you want to listen to. Okay? You are magnificent. You are valuable. You are deserving of being honored and seen and supported. And part of being honored and seen and supported is speaking up and saying, I have a right to be supported. Can you make it flexible? Absolutely. Do you have to do the whole charge what you're worth and make yourself uncomfortable by charging thousands of dollars for something that you really feel honestly in your heart you should only maybe charge a couple $100 for? No. That is not true to you either. That's not authentic either. You know how much guff I get for sharing free stuff online? I have had people come to me and say, I had to pay all of this money to go to school for this. And I say, guess what? Me too. But this information is so important and so valuable, especially right now, that I'm here sharing it for free. Do I still need to pay the bills so that I can keep sharing it? Yeah. But I benefit here too. Because it keeps me on my practice and it keeps me connecting. When I'm not connecting, there is an intense push to connect. I feel like I'm missing something in my life. So I align myself with my truth and my flow. I align myself with what naturally arises within me, which is the desire to share these things with you guys, because they have literally changed my life. I know you've heard me say it before. I absolutely would not be in this physical manifestation right now if it were not for mindfulness. I would not be able to speak clearly to you guys if it were not for mindfulness. If it were not for these tools that I have picked up over the years, I have intentionally filled my toolbox with over 20 years of education and professional and personal experience. It's a heavy fucking toolbox, guys. I have to share. Because if you only knew how simple the practices were, how small these little bites of practice really are, then I know that you would be taking them in. If you knew that nourishment, deep and profound nourishment, was available to you in like beard snack size, then you wouldn't feel crushed under the weight of your own healing. Like I was. Like many of us are. Feeling so worried that we're so broken or too broken to heal. You're not. Someone said something on one of my videos recently that they felt like their inner child died, is gone. And my heart just melted and like cracked open, and I heard all the little pieces go ting, 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 all over the floor. And I scooped them all back up and I put them back in my chest, and I held my heart gently for the little girl in me and the little child in them who is so scared, who was so hurt that they felt like they had to disappear. Your inner child still exists. I have been through in my personal journey things that are so horrific, I can't even tell you guys here on socials. If an inner child was ever gonna fucking disappear, that'd be a really good reason to do so. And yet, I found her. It took me years. It took work. It took intention. It took patience. It took love. It took radical self-love, radical ways of relating to myself, radical ways of relating to the universe for me to finally meet myself. You are not beyond healing. You are not beyond saving. But you have to show up for you. Nobody else can do that piece. Hey, Pippi. Nice to see you, friend. Scudin, hey, friend. Gatekeepers we are not. Boundaries we must have. Gatekeep we do not. Must have boundaries, yes? It's true. It's true. Boundaries are imperative. Even a temple where people go to worship, a church and things like that, they have boundaries there too. There are ways that we show up in different situations for ourselves and for others. We are not doormats. We are not martyrs. We are not things, commodities to be used and abused and thrown away. We are conduits for divinity to express itself in a finite reality. We are the oneness that is God, suddenly realizing that it wants to know itself, so it has to compartmentalize and separate itself, so that it can then come back home to itself. You cannot come home until you have left home. If you are God, how are you going to know God? If you are love, how do you know love? But to know yourself, you have to see yourself. What a magnificent opportunity. What a magnificent time. What a magnificent thing that you exist. Thank you. Thank you for being you. Thank you for shining bright. Thank you for shining dim. Thank you for hiding. Thank you for being angry and feeling broken. You are here and who you are because you were broken, got broken, feel scared, feel alone. Don't hate those parts of you. They are doing their job. But now it's time to show up for yourself, to find the captain of your ship, to have a discussion with the navigator, because the steering wheel does not know how to navigate. The wheels do not know where the lines on the road are, what direction we're headed. Only the navigator does. And it has been through mindfulness that I found my captain, that I found my inner child, that I found the navigation books, that I found my compass, that I found my maps. Holy shit, it was always all in here the whole time. You have yours too. So, come join us in the Discord. You can get into the Discord completely for free. Okay? There's a lot of fun stuff there, extra resources there. You get access to all of my content there. It's the best place to find my content because TikTok and YouTube hide my content. Not all of it, just the really good stuff. And the AI tells me that it can see QR codes in my content, especially the energy work content, which just makes me chuckle and say, oh, that's cute. Now that AI is watching, now AI can see the codes, the literal codes in the matrix. Adorable. Good to know. So now we keep most of it in Discord, because the powers that be do not want you guys to have these things, which is really silly to be. I mean, I get why. I know why, but that's not going to stop me from sharing it with you. Oh, Rexy, you're so sexy. Sorry, Byron, I couldn't help it. I can't believe you did that to me. Byron, there's a pirate on this ship that is just like, wants to be your bestie. Feels like we should go hang out. All right, my friends. I hope you enjoyed the Divine Union today. I hope you honor the divine union within you. Honor the fact that you are a creation of that divine union. And that in and of itself is a fucking miraculous thing. Go find some magic. Reach out to me if you have any questions, you want links, or want to work with me directly, want to debate this stuff, want to talk more. I'm here. I'm not a gatekeeper. I do have a variety of services I offer to varying degrees of exchange. If you ever want to discuss that exchange with me, please send me a message. I don't want to hear, listen to me, I do not want to hear that you avoided a coaching session or joining the Sangha or something else because you were afraid or didn't have the money. That's how you get me mad at you. Not really mad at you, but that's how you get my little mom finger shaker out that says, dang it, you should have just called. You should have just reached out. If there's a need, there's a way. If there's a will, there's a way. If there's a need, there's a resource. I love you guys so much. Go enjoy your day. I'm gonna go have some delicious breakfast and hang out with my kid and do cool meditations. All right, guys. Mwah, mwah, mwah. All the love in the whole entire